If you're even the slightest bit interested in astrology, you've probably heard of something called your Saturn return. Saturn's a very challenging planet. It's very karmic and it really teaches us hard lessons in life through tough love. Typically something where we're going through the roughest period of our life and then later on we're like, okay, I realized that had to happen in order to teach me this lesson. It literally rules things like poverty, consequences, restrictions, limitations, feeling very stuck. Everybody has their Saturn return around 28 to 30 years old. If you've already had your Saturn return, congrats, you're astrologically an adult. It's kind of like a second puberty. If you haven't had your return yet, honey, you got a big storm coming. Just kidding, it doesn't always have to be bad. In fact, if you feel like you've been given, a challenging deck of cards in this lifetime, sometimes people start to see their life really start to get easier after their Saturn return, especially if you're a Saturn girly with a lot of aspects to it. Or your Saturn ruled, which is an Aquarius or a Capricorn rising. Back to the point, around this age is when people start to face the consequences or the rewards of their actions. Meaning that if you've been screwing around and doing things that you know are bad for you and refusing to grow up, have to live the Saturn curse, which is having to learn 27 lessons in your 27th year, often referred to as the 27 Club. This is where we see partiers, celebrities, people that are, doing really hard drugs, not making the best decisions, face the consequences of that type of lifestyle. So this is typically when we see people get married maybe to somebody that isn't their, true love. Or people buy their first house or have their first child. Again, it does not have to be bad things at all. This is when some people's career, they finally make it, can look different for everybody. And that's my point today because I thought this was kind of funny. It's not really funny at all. This was Travis Scott's Saturn return. And this is Pete Davidson's. Somebody that often studies the moves of the Kardashians, using them as a cultural marker. This is funny to me that family is involved with both of these people having to learn really challenging lessons. Astro World's not funny, by the way. People died. I'm not laughing at that. But rather the fact that this is a perfect example of living the life and it coming to such a rude awakening, a halt, a reality check. Don't have, I think, Travis's accurate birth time, so I don't know what his rising sign is, but it did happen in Aquarius, and Aquarius is groups of people, crowds, people at large, social media, widespread things. 17 degrees too, which is often referred to as a fame degree. Think of him being the performer and Aquarius is the stage, the audience, everybody watching, everybody who also had to face the consequences. Davidson's is happening in his 4th house of home, family, who he is at the core, his private life, what goes on behind closed doors, family trauma, things like that. However, this isn't easy either to have Saturn transiting your 4th house. I'm going through it right now, trust me. Him being an assumed Scorpio rising, even if he's not a Scorpio rising and I have the wrong birth time, these are all of his Scorpio placements. He has a giant Scorpio stellium. The South Node is naturally transiting and uprooting all of his natal placements. He's having an identity reinvention.